What's up YouTube? This is Collect Pokemon and let's just, okay, everything seems to be working fine. So welcome back to another video, and this is going to be another part of the When to Sell Pokemon Card series. So yeah, today I want to talk about understanding the market. If you really want to know when it is a good time to sell Pokemon cards, you would need to be able to understand the market. And I know that, a lot of the time, people are saying that, hey, I don't understand the market anymore. Why are card price, so high? Why are these priced like that? It doesn't make sense or everything like that. Well, to be honest, you could go that way. You could try and argue that, oh, nothing makes sense. You can whine about it, or you can try to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because the way that we're thinking of the market right now is very different. And we're thinking it, we're applying a much more traditional way to think about the market. Um, Instead of actually looking at it in new lights. And I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of the older people like me who are in the hobby for a much longer time, we're like, oh, it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be this way. And it doesn't make sense. But what a lot of us did not do is to analyze what has changed the market. What are the new variables and how does these variable impacts the whole concept about Pokemon card collecting or the whole Pokemon card community. Traditionally, a lot of people believe that Pokemon card community consists of one hierarchy. And that one hierarchy consists of, the top of the pyramid being the trophy card, followed by, the vintage, first edition, blah. And then we have the modern and then the ultra modern. And then, the promos kind of are scattered depending on the rarity or how special that promotional card is. And for the longest time in the Pokemon community, a lot of people have been looking at three words. And those three words are rarity, condition, and exclusivity. And I'm not saying that these three words are wrong, but we're gonna explore more of that in a bit. But before we go on, remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And also, we're selling a new break on our website. That is the Miracle Twins in Japanese. And so if you guys want, go onto the website and check it out. Coming back to this, you need to be able to understand how people learn about Pokemon cards. What kind of methods do people like you guys have learn about Pokemon cards? I mean, you guys can go on PokeBeach, you guys can go on eBay, you guys can go on to YouTube, and there's so many new YouTubers for the past 6 months. There's just so many new YouTube individual trying to make videos about Pokemon cards. And that's where the exposure come from. The exposure for more people, or for many of you guys, are from these sources. And a lot of the time, these sources mainly talks about modern cards. And they're talking about modern cards just because they've only got into the market at the modern card. So there has been this dispute where a lot of the vintage collectors are saying that modern doesn't make sense. Why are you guys buying modern? It's going to get reprinted. And then you have the newer bunch who are like, I don't care if it's reprinted. I'm going to continue to buy it. So that kind of mindset creates a lot of conflicting information as to what is the market and what is happening now. And to complicate things, what we have is not just modern and vintage. We have niche such as people collecting era cards, people collecting Japanese cards, people collecting trophy cards, people collecting promo card, people collecting Pikachu cards. It just makes the whole market very conflicted. And that conflict comes from the different amount of information or the lack of knowledge people have about the Pokemon card market. Traditionally, people will think that, hey, only Charizard is worth money. And therefore, we had that Charizard hype, just prior to Champion's Path. Everyone was trying to chase for a Charizard. They think that Charizard is good, Charizard is premium, Charizard is great in price. And, as I've actually predicted, that is going to change. People are going to get tired of Charizard because there's this Charizard. And, once you're hooked into the market, you start to look for your own niche. You start to look for the own individual cards. You start looking for the own meaning to those cards. So here's the thing. Remember at the beginning of the video, I said there is a hierarchy? Well, to be honest, every single niche is their own little hierarchy. I don't think that there is one big hierarchy that you can actually say about Pokemon card. You can have a hierarchy on Pikachu promo cards. You can have a hierarchy on just modern cards. You can have a hierarchy on Japanese vintage old back card. So, it's a very, very different approach. And there's no one formula and there's no way that one individual can actually be a specialist in all these markets. So for example, me, a lot of people try to ask me about vintage Pokemon, and I'll be very frank. I just don't know enough to comment on it. I do have some vintage card. I do collect some vintage card, but where I come from, where my knowledge starts to start learning was in the XY era and the modern and the ultra modern era. I've been also looking into a lot of promo cards, especially the Pikachu promo cards, because that's my passion. I love those cards. So I think that you guys will need to be able to find yourself a niche, a particular niche that you would actually want to learn and dig a deeper knowledge about. And you can't win it all, and you can't have all the money. So you have to do research. You have to learn the particular market that you're in. And once you're in that particular market, you can niche pick what kind of hierarchy are there in that market right now. So for example, Pikachu promo cards, some that are released in the Pokemon Center in Japan are usually more affordable than ones that are released as the Fiesta or the Battle Fiesta, those kind of stuff, or those that are released in the Master Battle boxes, or Mario Pikachu, those crossover cards. Those could be seen as a much hierarchy. And then you could see that for example, the Scream Munch Pikachu, that set is of the top of the hierarchy, where it is unique and it's for a special occasion, these sort of stuff. So within each of the particular niche, you need to be able to learn, what is happening around. And I think that there are two groups of people. The traditional group of people in Pokemon cards, they collect Pokemon cards for very different reasons. I'm generalizing here, but there will be this group of people in doesn't matter if it was in the modern or in whatever period, but there will always be that group of individuals who usually try to voice out their discontent about the market, or they don't understand the market, because traditionally people suggest how to invest. They tell people they invest because of three reasons, or they decide to what to invest based on three things: exclusivity, conditions, and rarity. What that means is that the more rare the card is, that university Magikarp, or I don't know, a trophy Kangaskhan, those kind of trophy cards are rare. Therefore, good investment. Okay, I think that's fair enough. Condition, the better the condition, much more better investment. Okay, I understand that. Exclusivity, I also understand that. But here's the thing, those are the people who tend to spike up individual cards, or those are the people who doesn't mind paying a higher premium for one individual cards. And I'm not saying that the purchasing power is not amazing. The purchasing power is amazing, but the way how they're purchasing things are just, I want the best. I want to be unique. I want to show off. People call themselves, no offense, Gary, king of Pokemon or Pokemon king. Why do they want that? Because the older generation that has collected Pokemon or seen as these hobbies, they want to find that kind of confidence. They kind of want to show off and flex how unique or how special they are. And don't get me wrong, it's not just the older generation. Some newer generations do that. And a lot of people tend to do that in a lot of hobbies. Like when you play online game, MMORG games, you want to be the best mage, or the best tank or something like that. If you play League of Legends, you want to get best skins. That shows that sense of pride and prestige. And that is true. That has been true for quite a long time in Pokemon, and it is still true to a certain extent. But what you guys need to understand is there is another group of people that is causing the current growth in Pokemon card. They're not looking for rarity. They're not looking for condition of the card. Not as much. But they look at three other things. they look at satisfaction, passion, and exclusivity. Well, I think that the word exclusivity, which I'm going to talk about later, um, it's quite interesting. But these group of people, they don't want to compare. They don't want to, just show off their cards. They just want to enjoy the cards. They want to keep the cards at home. They want to put it in a binder, and that makes them happy. They don't even have to, try and chase for those more rare cards, something like that. They don't mind cards being, you know, under $1,000. They don't mind that, other people also have these cards. And they don't like to just kind of wave it at everyone. Hey, I have this card, I have that card. They are just happy looking at it, flipping through a binder. And how do I know that there are these groups of people? You know, coming from, like, I do a lot of breaks and live breaks and stuff, and I've seen PokeRef do a lot of live breaks and stuff, and I've seen many channels like Izzy and other one. We've done even PokeRan. They do a lot of live breaks. And traditionally, when people think about investment, they invest in sealed products. But why is there such a huge demand for live break? It means that people don't really care about that sealed investment value. They're just passionate. They're just satisfied with looking at the cards. They're not really thinking about the value. And I think that in my previous video, if you guys read the comment, I think that's quite interesting. A lot of you guys are telling me that you guys are collectors. You guys really want to collect, and that was your aim. And that's what I genuinely believe is happening. The Pokemon card market is growing because of a lot of collectors. A lot of people believe that, they want to have some sort of hobby. They, maybe because of the coronavirus or whatever, they're at home and, they try and think, what's the purpose of my life? Working every day, going out with friends, living a life, just laughing, blah, 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 but, when you sit by yourself for a while, you don't get to go out. You try and reflect. And I think, that's the time when a lot of people think that, hey, maybe I should start collecting. Hey, maybe I will get back into the hobby. I actually want to, interview other people as to, why did they even go back into Pokemon card? And I mean, a lot of people, usually what happens is that they buy a set or two, and then they started getting hooked, and it started, bringing them, the childhood memory thing. And I think, that's quite interesting, and how a lot of them are sharing that childhood memory with their kids, with their grandkids. And I think that's what makes Pokemon so special. And that passion and satisfaction is what is causing this huge growth in Pokemon, this huge demand in Pokemon. And that's why a lot of products, at release are just sold out completely. And, that's the thing. And, while the high-end collectors, those guys who are like, fighting to show off their cards, they can spend big money. They can easily put in 500K, 300K, for one card or a set of holo first edition holo cards. But it's much more interesting is the other guys, we're more likely to spend anywhere between $500 to $1,200, just collecting this, slowly buying up what we want to collect and what, satisfy that passion. Now, there's one thing that is quite important. If you guys are asking about investment or, what to buy or when to sell, is that word, the word exclusivity. Exclusivity seems to be the word that crosses over both group of individuals. And I think that is something that they still want and people still want. So, when I saw the Coco movie box or something like that, or the character rare Lily and Clefairy, these are exclusive cards. They're not like super expensive card when it was released, but because of it being such exclusive card, the growth rate, we're going to see a much more significant amount, because even the little guys like us, we're happy, but we want exclusivity in it. Don't get us wrong. We want exclusivity in some of those cards, but we're not crazy enough to buy or we're not rich enough to buy like a, trophy Kangaskhan or something like that. So exclusivity is that thing that kind of is in both sides of the world. And I think that, that is something that you should look at in cards. And like I said, when to sell the cards, I might actually hold on to more of these more exclusivity cards, because if it is so exclusive and, if we see a demand in it, chances are anyone that comes back into the market or, in the future when they decided to come into market, those are the cards that those are the cards that they will be looking for, like the Poncho Pikachu cards, for example. It was released 3 or 4 years ago, but a lot of the newcomers, they really want those cards because they think that they're not unaffordable, but they're very, very exclusive and they look really good and they would want it to be in their collection. So that's the thing that I would hold on to or not sell rather than sell it early because we can see some value into it. So yeah, this is quite a long video, but I just want to say that the Pokemon card market is changing, and if you really want to learn about it, you have to adjust and adapt and analyze the market. Um, and I think you guys, everyone should just respect each other, respect their own niche. I mean, respect each other's niche, and don't always compare vintage and modern and say that modern is this, so therefore vintage is this, or vintage is dropping, therefore modern is dropping. I just kind of think of it as separate identity, and I think that will make you have a much more clear mindset as to what is happening to the market. So yeah, that's me talking for 16 minutes straight, yeah, without script. So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, so remember to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and we're gonna talk more about it. I don't know what part 3 is about. I'll plan a little bit and then I'll talk about it. So yeah, peace out for now. This is Collect Pokemon. Bye.